Good afternoon, everybody. Today we are going to be going over event setup and management in LegFi. So we have a lot of really cool features we think you guys will like, and they all tie together. So that's what the theme of this webinar is going to be. My name is Hannah Gunderson, and I will be leading today's webinar, and I'm here with Sarah Beth Russell, who's also one of my teammates. She's going to be watching the questions chat, so if anyone has a question, you can put it in the chat. And before we go over into like the live demo and all the different things we're going to cover, I'm going to have Sarah Beth give you a little bit more information on LegFi.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. So LegFi provides software solutions and services that help nearly 40 national headquarters, their chapters and campus clubs and groups from more than 650 campuses. They manage finances, streamline operations, recruit members, and enhance communication with our software. We've helped our clients process 6.8 billion in dues, rent, fees, and more since our founding 30 plus years ago, and boast 9 out of 10 customer satisfaction score.
Thank you, Sarah Beth. And then just for a quick overview of our agenda today, I didn't make a slide for it just because I feel like I always click over it a little too fast, but I'm just going to show you, we're going to be setting up a fake semi-formal event. So we'll pretend we're setting up a LegFi semi-formal for the spring. So we're going to go through setting the event up, putting the formal t-shirts that anybody going to the event can buy for them and their dates, and then also adding the invoices. So I have some fake invoices from our vendors for the venue and for the catering. So I'll show you how to add that to payables, get all of that set up so that way you can manage, paying for your event, selling tickets, getting your members their t-shirts, and just having all the information organized. So let me go ahead and switch my screen really quick. And I'm getting it pulled up. Okay, we should be looking at LegFi. This is the test org we have, so you may see some crazy names. I don't know if they'll pop up, but some of them have different test usernames. It's just because our IT team used this when they first built out payables. I think we'd probably be fine to archive them, but I'm afraid to mess up anything they're working on. So I just try to leave the account as is, and then I just add my little pieces. So if you see any names that say like Hannah Test or I don't know, sometimes they may just be letters. It's just because our IT team is in here, and this is a fake org we have set up just for webinars and stuff like this. So what I'm going to start with is actually adding maybe the not so fun stuff, the stuff our chapter is going to have to spend money on, which is those invoices. So I'm going to go down to this payables tab. You can see we have a few unpaid invoices down here. Again, it's a test account. Hopefully y'all's invoices are not past due and all paid on time. But what we're going to do is we're going to start by adding payees. So the vendors we have for this event, the catering and the event center, have never been paid before. Maybe it's a new venue we're trying on our campus or wherever our organization is. So I'm going to go to payees, and the first thing I'm going to do is add them as vendors. So here are some examples of kind of those like funny looking names from our IT team, but you can just ignore those. What we're going to do is click add payee, and the first one we have, this fake catering I have, it's called Wardier. You know what? I didn't really take the time to edit the name. It's just going to leave it however this test invoice was. So we'll say this is the catering, the account number. I'm looking at my invoice. So if you guys had an invoice from your vendor, you would have all this information. And of course, this one is just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The default account that we're going to have this come out of is going to be probably, let's see which one makes the most sense. Maybe we have like an events one. Or maybe not. Let's see. Recruitment, rent, scholarships. Oh, social. Social is so perfect. Okay, we'll do that. Our default payment method, this is going to let us let our vendors choose how they want to get paid, but we can also set a default. So if we know this catering company just wants a mailed check, we'll go ahead and do mailed check. But if we want them to be able to choose between getting a check mailed to them or just having the money deposited directly into their account, we'll do payee's choice. So when we do that, what's going to happen is down here, we don't have to fill in their address or anything. They'll be able to fill that in. But what we will need to do is put in their email. So I'm just going to say LegFi test at omegafi.com. But you would put in whatever the catering company's email is. And then what it'll do is it's going to email them whenever we're ready to pay, and it's going to ask them how they want to receive it. If they choose a mailed check, they're going to put in their address and all their mailing information. If they want to do a direct deposit into their account, they'll put in their bank's information, so that way we can do an e-check payment and just have that money transferred to their account. So this will email them. If they say they haven't gotten paid and you do Pay's Choice, you're just going to have to let your vendor know that they're going to need to go in and choose how they want to receive that payment. So I'll put that in. We don't have any additional details down here that I want to put in, so I'm going to click Save Payee. And then we just have to add one more. So this is just, we're going to say Botanical Gardens is where we're going to say the other one is. Account number, again, we'll just say 12345. Social is going to be the account, and then we're going to do Pay's Choice, pay from our operating fund. If you guys have an event fund, you could also use that. And then the email, we're going to say LegFi test to @omegafi.com. Now these aren't real emails, so if you have LegFi questions, definitely don't email these. We'll put all that contact information at the end that you guys are going to want to use. So we'll put that in. We're going to click Save Payee. It's going to go through, and now both of those vendors, those payees are added. And so what we can do is add bills. So I'm going to go to my dashboard, click Add Bill, and we're going to select the payee. So the first one we're going to do was those Botanical Gardens. And I'm going to add, I didn't mean to click that one. I want to upload my invoice first. I'm going to select a file, downloads. And we have this venue invoice. And it's going to upload there. And then in here, the invoice date, we can just pretend it was today. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but again, you'd be looking at a physical invoice, and we'll say the due date is October 1st for them to pay. Invoice number, we can do 123. And then we're going to add the line item. So you always have to add at least one line item, but if your invoice is itemized, then I recommend putting it in the same way they have it. So for this first one on my invoice for the venue, there is a charge of $1,099. And this is going to be for, looks like photo and video. So maybe we hired a photographer and videographer to document our formal, so that way we have pictures for the chapter for our organization later. So we're going to click Create Line Item. And on this invoice, it actually has it listed twice. So we'll do video as the second one. And again, we're going to put that $10.99, social, create line item. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background. They are getting a little bit riled up. Okay, the next thing we have on here is for the venue itself. So we'll put in venue, and that is going to be, looks like $3,119. I'm glad that wouldn't be coming out of my personal account, because that definitely would drain me. Okay, and then the last thing is decorations. So we have decorations. The amount is going to be $900. Again, we're going to keep these all as the social account. It's filling that in because we have that as the default. But if for maybe this, we wanted to change it, you do have the option to change it. If you don't change it, it's just going to use the default we set for that payee. So we're going to create the line item. Now we have our total here of $6,217. But looking at the invoice, they're also charging me a 10% tax. So I'm going to add a line item. The worst part, no one likes paying tax, but we have to, and that's going to be $621.07, or 70 cents, excuse me. And then maybe if you wanted to, you could again change this, but I'm going to leave that all under social, create line item. And now we have our total here that matches the invoice I'm looking at next to me. We'll say all of this matches. So I'm going to go down here, click create bill. You can see here's the bill. Now it's not going to automatically pay it, but if we were ready to make a payment and you have this money in your account, you could go ahead and click this add payment button. I'm not going to do it because if we look at our account, we only have $80. So definitely don't have the money available, but hopefully after everybody pays for their formal ticket, which we're about to set up, we'll have the money available to go ahead and pay for this event. Now we just have to add one more bill, which is going to be our catering. Let's go down here, and it's way at the bottom. Again, I don't remember what the exact dates were, but we'll just say is due on the 1st. Invoice number, we'll say 2345. Make it a little different. And then I'm going to look at, again, my invoice to match it up. So let's see here. It's called a family buffet. Maybe I should have edited that. I don't think we do a family buffet at formal, but that's kind of funny. We'll leave it. Family buffet, it's $600, or maybe that's just what they call it. And we're going to maybe change this, or we'll leave it at social. We'll create the line item, add another one. We have a beverage station. $200. Create the line item. We're going to add one more for a dessert table. Let's see, $250. And then the last thing we're going to have to pay for is staff. So just their staffing services. And the amount for that one is going to be $300. All right. So we'll click create line item. Again, now we have all this listed. These people also charged me tax, so I'll just add that here for the tax. And this one is $94.50. Kind of a random number. We'll click create line item. So this total matches what I have on my invoice. We'll try again to upload the file. Maybe it'll work with this one. If not, it may just be because I'm on a test account, and sometimes test accounts can be a little finicky compared to y'all's, like regular version. So let's click create bill. And it's taking a second. And this one uploaded. So this is what the invoices are going to look like. I may have just saved that other one incorrectly, but whatever invoice you have from your vendors, when you upload them, you'll be able to see it here. So you can see all of those things that I itemized out are listed right here, so we can see it. And then again, if we were ready to pay it, we could go ahead and click add payment, but I'm not going to do that right now just because, again, there's not enough money available in our account. If you were to add a payment, what it's going to look like is what these look like here as unapproved items. So if your chapter only needs one approval and you're the one who adds the payment, it'll go ahead and go through and it'll be listed under this upcoming approved payments. But if you need a dual approval, some of your chapters have it set up that way, it'll say here how it's pending approval, and then just one other admin's gonna have to go on here, click a little checkbox, and then that will be good to go and approved to be able to pay your vendors once they choose how they want to be paid. So now that we have probably the least fun part of event setup done, which again is paying your bills, I'm going to go down here and show you how to actually set up the event in LegFi. So when we click this crowdfunding tab down here, we have options for events, fundraisers, and merchandise. Fundraisers would be if you were just trying to raise money, but there's no tickets to be sold, nobody's actually showing up to anything, you're just accepting donations, we do a fundraiser. But since this is an event, I'm going to do it as an event where there's going to be tickets, people are going to be showing up. So I'm going to click go here. You can see I already have one set up, which is this semi-formal, but I'm going to create a new event because we're going to set up our formal. First thing I'm going to do is upload an image. So the way I do these is generally in Canva. So if you guys had Canva, this was a video I was making for LegFi, so y'all don't mind that. But we can go back here and it should be one that I recently did. So you don't have to use Canva, but I really recommend it. I like it. So I did this. I did it from a PowerPoint, but I just wanted to take this title slide. So I'll go to share. We're going to download it. Let me do it as a JPEG. That generally works a little bit easier. I do not want all pages. I just want page one because that's the only one I edited. Wait, let's unclick all of these and just do this. All right. And we're going to download that. So that's how I do these event banners. Again, if you guys maybe have somebody who's in charge of your PR and they're in Adobe and they're making special ones, that'd be even cooler. But I definitely did not have the talent or the time for that. So I use Canva. And honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They have a lot of great templates. So you guys can try doing that if you'd like. And then we'll go back to click upload. And let's see here. There we go. I think I just had to save it as a JPEG. So I'm going to zoom out since this is so big. And we'll slide this over, spring formal. We're going to click save. And then here we're going to say LegFi spring formal is what it's called. Location, I'm just going to say Columbus, Georgia. That's where we're headquartered. And then the start date, it's going to be April, I think 12th, I said, or 14th. So let's go way up here. We're selling tickets early, but honestly, the sooner the better since people do tend to procrastinate. So it's all going to be the 12th. Event description, maybe I'll just say join us for a night of dancing and fun. That's such a terrible description, but I'm sure y'all will write something more creative. We'll just keep it fast, of dancing and fun. And then I'm also going to put a disclaimer here just so nobody tries to actually sign up for this event. And then down here we can make a custom URL. So I'm just going to call it LegFi, or maybe we'll call it Spring Formal. Fill that in. And then over here for the category, again, we're going to do, let's see, maybe I may need to set these a little different. So we'll just say member dues for now. Maybe we would need to make a new revenue or expense category, which you can do under the budget section over here. But for now, I'm just going to keep it as member dues for to keep things simple. And then the deposit account, we want it to go in the operating account because if you guys remember, all of our payments for our invoices are coming out of operating. So I definitely need the money from these ticket sales to go into the operating fund so there's an available balance to pay what we need. We don't want to show the remaining tickets left, but maybe we will show the attendee list so that way you can see if your friends are going, who their dates are, all of that. We don't want to suspend the event, but what this will be used for is maybe, let's say, come December, something came up and this event is no longer going to be hosted. What you'd want to do is go in here, edit the event, and then you could click to suspend it. The ticket name, we're going to say single ticket. So if you're just going by yourself, the quantity will say there's 100 of them, and this is an attending. We'll say it's maybe $35 to go to formal, and the sale ends, we just want to know maybe by the end of March, who all is going to be going. Ticket, this covers one person. And then we'll go ahead and save that ticket. And then to make it easy, if you're maybe just buying a ticket for you and your date, you could say double ticket. We'll say covers you and a date. Kind, again, is going to be attending. This will be, what, $70? I think that's correct. Oh, wait, this is $70. Quantity up here, we'll say there is 50 of them, because that would make another 100 people. And then the sale ends for this one. Again, we'll say the end of March. So we'll go down here, click that, save the ticket. And the only other thing we have to do on this event setup page is put in the organizer name. So I'll put in my name, and then we'll put in support at OmegaFi. This is our support email that you guys can reach out to. I'm not going to put a Facebook URL or Twitter URL, but if you wanted to, you could do that. Or I guess I should say X URL. This still says Twitter, but I know it's X. So now that all this is done, we're going to go ahead and create the event. And you can see it's now listed over here. I didn't do a great job sizing this. I probably should have done it like that. But again, if we wanted to edit it, you can always go in here and edit it. If not, this is what the event page is going to look like. So when all of your members log into LegFi, they'll have, instead of all of these tabs like you have as an admin, they're just going to have like their account listed up here, and they have a crowdfunding tab. When they go to crowdfunding, they'll see these events that are available for them to buy tickets. So it'll look like this minus this edit icon. You have to be an admin to have this edit icon. So if you guys wanted to go in and edit this or change any of the information, you can just click edit. Maybe you wanted to put in a more specific location, let's say. So instead of Columbus, Georgia, we put the actual botanical gardens in. So that way anyone who comes to this page has the address all listed. You could go in and do that. But again, your members will be able to come to this page and they can buy tickets if they want. So let's say they just want to buy a single ticket. They're going to buy one. They're going to add to cart, and then they're going to be able to choose a payment type. So they'll be able to pay on this events page, put in all of their information, click pay, and that money's going to deposit directly into your operating account or whatever account you chose to link. If it was your external bank account, it'll go into that. If it was a different treasury fund, it'll go in there. You'll be able to choose, excuse me, where that's going to deposit. And so they'll be able to pay. The other cool thing about this, if we go back to crowdfunding, click go here, what you guys can do as admin under actions is you can share event URL. So if we go here, I'm going to copy this URL, click got it, and let me see if I can open, oh geez, an incognito browser just to show you what this would look like if you are not logged in. So let's do this. So if you do not have a LegFi account, let's say you're sharing this with your date. I don't want to buy the double ticket. I'm telling my boyfriend, I'm like, you know what, like, Ari, I love you, but you got to buy your own ticket. So maybe I bought my ticket, but I need to share with him. He's not going to have a LegFi account where he can go log in and do this, but I can give him the URL and it's going to take him to this page. So you can see there's no sidebar over here. It's just our event page, but he'll be able to work on it just the same. So he could click one ticket, click add to cart, and again, he'll be able to purchase that without even having to log into his LegFi account. So don't think that this is limited just to LegFi users. You can share with your members or your anybody who's with your organization, or you can share externally. So let's say this was like a fundraiser event, like maybe you were doing like a philanthropy event. You could share this on your Facebook and anybody or your X account or text, however you guys want to do it. You could share it and then anybody could click that link and buy a ticket. So that's what that will look like. Going back here, the next thing I'm going to do after setting up this event is add our t-shirts. So as we know, everybody loves t-shirts for events. I'm going to click go. I'm going to click add a product, t-shirt name. So we're going to say spring formal t-shirt. The price will say is $25. Description covers one formal t-shirt. And then what we can do down here is we can hide the size of that checkout, or you can have it shown. If we don't click this, it's going to be shown. We can add a mass quantity. So maybe let's just say we have like a total of 200 t-shirts. We can do it like that. Or if you guys had like pre-purchased them and there's only so many of each size, you can add quantities based on size. I'm going to choose to do mass quantity just because I think it's easier. So we'll say there's 200 t-shirts. And then we can upload the image. So I have this formal t-shirt. We'll zoom out. And I even custom wrote that LegFi with my computer mouse. So sorry that looks a little bit messy, but these are the formal t-shirts. Okay, so now we're going to click create merchandise, and now we can see it's here. So again, your members, when they go down to the crowdfunding section, they'll be able to go to merchandise. They won't have the pencil icon to edit, but they will be able to click in here and purchase the t-shirt. So if they wanted an extra large, that's what I personally would get. Click one, or maybe I want to buy one for me and my date, so we'll do two. Click buy, and then again, we just click new credit card and we can fill in all of this information. And then that money will deposit directly into our operating account, or whatever account we chose. In this case, it would be the operating. So I'll X out of that. So that's how you would set all these things up. One more feature I do want to show you guys is going to be under the communication. So let's say, again, we wanted to share this URL. If you wanted to remind your members to buy their tickets, let's say, we can copy this. And then we're going to go back up here to communication. And there's this text feature here. I don't know if you guys have been using it or not, but I personally really like it. So these are going to be like text announcements. Your members aren't going to be able to text you back. But what you can do is click add all. So maybe these are all of the members in our chapter. The message, we're going to say, I'm going to say test text, just so if these people actually have their phone numbers linked, they aren't confused why I'm texting them. And I'll say, don't forget to get your formal tickets. And then I'll put the URL there. And then I can click send message, and it's going to text all of my members, and they're going to get this one. Now, these ones probably all failed because, again, these are test users, and they probably did not have phone numbers linked to it. But all these people down here probably just got a text, and I do see it on my phone that it went through. So they'll be able to see that. So I'm so sorry to John and Carrie and everybody else who got this text. They're probably like, what the heck? They're best, I think, the only one who's going to be in the know on what that was. But that's how you would send those announcement texts to your members. You can also do it through email. So if you wanted to email members, it's the same process. You just click this, fill in your information. If you wanted to add an attachment, maybe you wanted to attach that picture that's used for the crowdfunding, you could do that, attach a file, and then send it to them and be able to do it that way. Another thing that may be useful is, let's say you are between two t-shirts, you could do a survey So if you wanted to do a survey, you could create a new one and then maybe give them 2 options for the t-shirts. And that way your members could vote which one they like best. So that way you actually are, giving them a t-shirt they want. Those are just other things you could add on to this event setup process that aren't going to be required, but are cool tools that you can add on to this payables in the crowdfunding section. So definitely recommend using those. If you want to see if people got the text, you can always go to this communication log, click go, and it's going to show you a list of all of those that went through. So you can see that I recently sent a text. We can view what the text was that went out there. And then let me X out of that. And then you'll be able to see if that went through. So it'll say sent. If it didn't, it's going to have this failed. So we know all these people didn't actually have a phone number linked, which is why they failed. But that is everything that I have for you guys right now. Sarah Beth, were there any questions in the chat?
I'm currently not seeing any.
Okay, that's fine. Then let me switch back to our PowerPoint so I can give you guys the contact information.
Oh, hold on. I actually do have one.
Okay.
How/where do you get an alert once somebody orders merchandise, or do you have to go out to the order tab yourself to view it?
So if you want like live updates, you would want to go here and just view it as an admin, but you should get daily emails if you have your notification turned on from LegFi, and they're just going to give you a list of any deposits that your chapter received or payments. So on there, you would have, payments that people paid their dues, but you should also get an email letting you know that people purchased an event ticket and that money's going to be deposited into your account, or purchased a t-shirt. Those should be on your daily emails you get from LegFi. That's a
And
good question. Mhm.
that's all I have for you.
Okay, perfect. Well, let me switch back to my PowerPoint then. Just give me 1 second. This is our contact information. We've recently simplified it. So before there's a few different emails, depending on what you needed help with, one for login, one for LegFi help, things like that. Now we've simplified it to just software support at omegafy.com, and all of our teams are working in there to help you get an answer a lot quicker, and that way you don't have to memorize so many things. If one of your members still uses one of those old emails, we haven't shut them off, so it'll go through. But to get the fastest answer moving forward, definitely use the software support at omegafy.com. And the other thing you'll have is the LegFi in-app help. So this is that question mark icon. It's in the top right corner of LegFi. You probably saw it during the webinar or while you're in LegFi. And you can just click that. That's going to bring you to our help center. So we have a bunch of written articles. We have some help videos, and then we also upload all of our webinars. So about 2 days from now, you'll probably see this one listed in our help center where you can go back and watch it. And then if you want to watch that as well as other webinars that maybe you missed from previous months, you can also see those as well. So that's definitely a good place to check. If you want, immediate help, you don't want to wait on an email response, there's pretty much an article for everything. We're constantly adding to the articles, editing them as we add new features. So anything you should have questions on should be in there. But if not, again, don't be afraid to reach out to this email and we'll be happy to help y'all. But that is all I had today. Sarah Beth, I'll just check with you one more time before I end it. Was there any last minute questions put in before I close out this webinar?
No, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Well, I appreciate you guys joining us this afternoon. I hope it was helpful. Like I said, it was going to be a bit of a quicker one, but I think that just speaks to how easy event setup is in LegFi. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and look out for this webinar recording in your email in about 2 to 3 days. Thanks, y'all.